Hello, Matt Elliott here.
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
For all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels.
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Come on, you foxes!
Happen in 49, 61, 63 or 69 when they reach the final. But the class of 2021 have delivered. Leicester City are FA Cup winners at last and are history makers at Wembley.
They have blown their rivals away. They have blown us all away in truth. Premier League champions 2016. The amazing Leicester City!
Leicester Till I Die TV. Your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
Right, Chris.
All right there, how the devil are we all? Welcome along. It's a different day this week, just to confuse things because of matches. We played Burnley on Tuesday, and guess what? We won. Yes, we did. And don't tell Steve, because I don't think he's watching this bit, but I think he actually predicted a 1-0 win. I think he was supposed to be to Burnley. Because he uses his his reverse psychology, and I think I typed it in wrong as a 1-0 to Leicester, but he got a point. Shh, don't tell him I did that. Don't tell him I did that. It is the prediction show. Can we make it 2 in a row? Leeds with a new manager coming along. This is the prediction show.
It's the Leicester Till I Die Premier League Prediction Show with Chris, Brad, and regular special guest, ex-Leicester City player Steve Lynex.
Like and subscribe now.
It is the prediction show, and if you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much. Please make sure to smash that likes button and give us a subscribe. And if you are catching up on Podcaster, Amazon, Apple iTunes, Google, Spotify, Podcast Addict, thank you for listening in. Over 20,000 downloads. I know I keep saying this, but it blows my mind. 20,000 downloads in just over a year. Totally amazing. Thank you to everybody. You obviously think I've got a face for radio. You prefer to listen to me rather than watch me. And I can't blame you. I get Brad on as much as I can for the good-looking one, but he's taken now, so I don't see him as often. But yeah, anyway. Moving on quickly. Look who's at 100. Yes. You remember, and Steve will remember Brad saying like, "Oh, I'm walking away with this." He's not any longer. And Steve's coming up behind him as well. But currently in the lead and the first one to get to 100 points, it's moi. What more can I say? What more can I say? Other than good evening, first of all, to Brad. How the devil are you, sir?
I'm very well, thanks, matey. How are you?
I'm not so bad, thank you. All the women's viewers have just gone up as they realise I've brought you into the stream.
I hardly doubt that, mate.
Anthony, good evening to you. How the devil are you? Hope you are well. Sorry for putting you on time out the other day. He kind of wound me up during the watch along. And Jeff's here as well. Good morning, Jeff, over there in the Philippines. Will Chris extend his lead? You know, my wife was always asking me about that. Or will Brad use his special powers to make a comeback? Will Steve dribble his way near the top? Well, he's been known for dribbling, but I think that's because he's getting on a bit. Good evening, Steve. How are you?
Good evening, gents. Good evening, everybody.
You know I jest. You know I jest. If anybody's dribbling, it's me. I think I am the oldest here. So we're going to get in. We're back to just 1 week now. A good win, though, first of all. Obviously, with Brad and me, we've spoken about it. But Steve, I don't know if you saw any of it at all, but it was like Leicester of old.
Great win. Great to see Vardy back. Yes. And hopefully, fingers crossed, you might see something happening over the next 2 or 3 games.
Well, players are slowly starting to come back. I don't know, Brad, did you ever hear anything about Ricardo? Was he injured?
I heard that Ricardo said he felt his hamstring go tight, so precautionally Rodgers took him off. Didn't want to risk anything further. I haven't seen anything to confirm whether it is a hamstring that has gone or if it was just a tight hamstring.
Yeah.
I suppose you could say that no news is good news. That it just means it was a tight hamstring and everything's okay. You'd feel that we'd hear something about it, especially maybe just as a reassurance, so fans can start to feel a bit more optimistic about a player's return. But maybe they just want to make 100% sure, so when he has his press conference, he can say, up to the last minute, he's just fit as it is. But we'll have to wait to that. But let's just see it as no news is good news for now.
Anthony, I wish I'd had that a few years ago. He puts his missus on timeout when she gets on his nerves. If I could have had one of those, I might still be married. Who knows? Who knows? Don't mention the patio, whatever we do. Let's move on. First game, and it's probably the biggest game of the weekend. Oh, let me just move Steve there because he's being covered up by my Stand With Ukraine thing. There we go. If anybody's going to get covered up, it's me. Leeds are coming to Leicester for the early kickoff on Saturday morning. We don't usually do very well in these early kickoffs this season. We've struggled a little bit, but Leeds have been in free fall as well. But they've got a new manager. Brad, I mean, I don't know this new manager. Hasn't really got any Premiership experience. Are we going to see a bounce with Leeds?
It's hard to tell because normally when you see a manager bounce, they haven't seemingly got many a squad issue. It's just a natural effect that he can put the best performing players out there and they go and perform for him because they want to impress. You know, kind of like what you were saying when there was, excuse me, talk of Rodgers. You know, if we got rid of him now, you was arguing, well, if we've got rid of him now, someone comes in, they're going to have no transfer window. They've still got the same injury problems.
Yeah,
that's the thing that I just don't see being able to take effect. He might get a bounce out of the players naturally, but still the same injuries, still the same key players missing. We've just got a very much needed 3 points, which, given the state of the season, probably slams the door of fears of relegation regardless, because we're now hit that. It sounds shocking, but we've got that 30 points and we're at home. I just don't see it changing a fate. I think Leeds are going to get worse before they're going to get better under this manager. I don't think it's just something that just fixes itself like that.
No.
So I'm already going for a Leicester win.
You are going for a Leicester win. They'll put you in
so now I've jinxed it. I'm sorry.
Put you there. No, yeah, well, yeah, you don't jinx it as much as I do, but I mean, Steve, Bielsa was such a good fit there, and he has. I know he only ever signs one sort of season contracts at a time, but a bit like sometimes these managers, when you stick with them when you go down, as in Sean Dyche, they bring you straight back up again. Have Leeds made a mistake sacking him?
It's hard to say really because Leeds are a funny team. Like we said a few weeks ago, it all depends on which Leeds turns up. But I can't see them bouncing out with a new manager straight away. because, you know, the same players are still in there. They're still going to be sort of playing the same way. He's not going to make too big a change. He's just going to try and, you know, balance the ship and try and, you know, stop them losing a few games. But it's going to be interesting now because I think the bottom three, they've been in the battles week in, week out all the season. But now the pressure's on, like the top three just above. You got Leeds, you got Everton, you know, you got Brentford. I think the pressure's on more of those teams that's just above the bottom three, because the bottom three have had their bad runs all through the season. So, you know, the three teams have got to be very careful above now, because they are catchable the way people are playing.
Well, I mean, Brentford, who are in 15th, which you normally think is reasonably safe, but they're only 3 points above Burnley. In fact, Newcastle obviously are the informed team at the moment, but, you know, they're on 25. But I think Newcastle are going to be all right. We'll come on to them later. But like you say, the pressure's on them, especially because Burnley have started, you know, well, up until obviously when they met the mighty Foxes. Up until then, they were getting a few runs together, and of course they did us all a favour when they beat Tottenham. But can you see Leeds getting anything here, or are you going for a Leicester win?
Well, I can't do the reverse psychology this week because I think I don't think Leeds are going to do anything. I think it's going to be too major for them to do big changes. And if they do big changes, then it's in Leicester's favour.
Yes.
And then again, if they play the way they are playing, it's in Leicester's favour again. So it's a hard one to call, but nice to see Leicester get a bit of a run now. And I think it'll make them bounce. And I can't see Leeds getting out of this one.
I've said this so many times this season, past Man United, past Liverpool. Oh, this is going to be the game that turns our season round, and it never has. Leeds, I mean, they've not won. They've drawn 1 in 5, and that was against a certainly an up and down Aston Villa. You know, lost to Everton, which that's hard to do, isn't it? They lost to Man United. Leeds stuffed them, and even Tottenham stuffed them. 10 goals in 2 games, and obviously that led to Bielsa being sacked. But, you know, Leicester were suddenly up to 30th, 1 good game, and everything seems rosy in the garden. But it's at Leicester. I don't think
that's the worry. That's the worry with Leicester, because they can't go by the last game, and I think they will. I think that's what they've been doing this year. They've been getting 1 good game, and then they think they're okay, and they drop the standards. So, you know, they've got to say now, right, this is it. We've changed it. We've changed the way we've been playing, get with the results. So we work harder, and that's the only thing you can do. But if Leicester think that this one result's going to pull them out of it, they've got to be careful.
Oh, they're definitely 100%. But I think for me, we got the performance and we got the result as well. And we've not always had both of those together at the same time this season. And you could say, well, it was only a Burnley side. This is a Burnley side that held Man United and beat Tottenham, so they can't be taken lightly. And it was at the Turf, but I've got to go for Leicester. I mean, if we lose this, then, like you say, we can't keep going through the season, win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1. We've got to get some consistency there. Anthony's gone for a 2-1 Leicester. Thank you, Anthony. Jeff has gone for must be a Leicester win. No new manager bounce in this game. I don't think it can be a new manager when he's got no experience and he's coming into this totally blind. But it is the early morning kickoff. Like I say, it is 12:30 on BT Sport on the Saturday morning. And we have got this while it's on.
This is the Leicester Till I Die Watch Along show. Join in the chat and don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, we're having another watch along. I've banished the Brad used to go, no, watch along. You did Arsenal, or who did that do? I can't remember. I did Forest the second. We lost both, but I broke that hoodoo, Brad. So we're going to have 2 wins on the trot on the Leicester Till I Die watch along. And it's great fun because we're going to be doing it with a Leeds fan. And I love doing it, the fact that you've got the fans are from different teams. Not quite as manic as the old Sky Sports. What did they used to call it?
Fan zone.
Fan zone. Not quite as mad as that, but well, we'll see. We'll see how many we put past Leeds. Right, the second game, gentlemen. Aston Villa against Southampton. I was actually watching a Southampton show just before we came live here, and of course they beat West Ham, yes, in the FA Cup last night. Well done, Southampton. They're having a not a bad old season. I mean, they're sat in ninth. They've not lost in 5. They beat Tottenham 3-2 in something like the 93rd minute. Again, well done, Southampton. They beat Everton and they beat Norwich. And they say they're through in the cup. They're having a quiet season going under the radar there. Villa, I just think Gerrard has really... I mean, what can I say about Villa? I mean, they did win last time out against Brighton and Hove Albion. Sorry, Brad, which was a bit of a surprise, if I'm honest with you. But they'd lost the previous 2. And again, I think Gerrard is like Steve said there with Villa. It's almost win, lose, win. And you kind of can't. I can see Southampton. For me, I'm going to go first on this one. And I'm going to see it as an away win. And I think Southampton will get all 3 points here. Steve, where do you see it going?
I'm on your side. I think Southampton's in a great purple patch at the moment. Confidence, the way they're playing, the team's playing for each other, they're getting the results. And I think that's going to carry them on now for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Might take them to the end of the season. They're doing like West Ham are. They're getting the run at the right time. So Villa are stuttering. I don't think he's found his best formation or his best team yet. And I think he's still trying to work on that. That's why they're winning 1, losing 1. So it'd be a hard game for Villa. So I think Southampton.
And Brad, I mean, I like Southampton. They've stuck by a manager not many would have done that have, had 2 9-0 defeats in 2 seasons. I do like them for that. He is, I think, a very underrated manager. I think, I don't think Graham Potter's any better than him. I think he really is good. But do you agree with the both of us, or are you going to be different?
I mean, I agree in the terms that Southampton are having a nice run at the moment. Very strong form. Villa have kind of fallen off a bit, haven't they? They've kind of taken the foot off the gas, since he arrived, and looking really good when he first got here. But now it's settled down a bit. I'm not sure if they've had any troubles or players missing for a period of time. I don't know what their injury situation is, but there just seems to be a bit Leicester-y in terms of their consistency. But Southampton do go through patches, but then they go through patches where they don't really get a win when they're expected to. I mean, they're doing the right things to be where they are, beating the likes of Everton and Norwich. So you'd expect them to probably beat an informed Villa. But I've just got a funny feeling that Villa are going to nick something from this game. I don't think they'll win it, but I think they'll nick a point from this game. So I'm going to go for a draw.
You're going down the middle. Right. Jeff, yep, thank you very much for that. You were in the last watch along. You weren't, can you believe, I'm actually sat down here on the south coast of England watching the game from the Midlands in the same country, and Jeff, who was on the other side of the world down there in the Philippines, was actually ahead of us on the game. I mean, technology. But yeah, thanks very much for your kind words there, Jeff. Look forward to chatting with you on Saturday. Scott, hello. All thought I'd make an appearance. Oh, you got a letter from your mother. You're late again, mate. Hope you're well and keeping well. And he's gone 3-0 Leicester. I think it could be, to be honest with you. And he's caught us up because he's gone for a draw. A Desmond there with a 2-2 between Villa and Southampton. Steve, I'll come to you first with this one. Burnley Chelsea. It's only going to go one way, isn't it?
Yeah, Burnley. I think.
Really? No, I wasn't expecting that. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah. I'm a bit shocked on that one.
No, I think watching the last few games with Chelsea, I think they've lost the killer touch. They're playing too much football. They're playing in front of teams instead of getting behind teams. And I think the way Burnley are with the dogged performance and whatever, I think they'll wear them down and Burnley will get it second half. If at most, I think Chelsea get a draw there, but no, I'm fancying Burnley on this one.
You're going for Burnley. Brad?
It's a difficult one. A part of me wants to agree with Steve and say Burnley because he's right in a sense. Chelsea look a bit lackadaisical. I mean, great effort by Luton. They played really well, but Chelsea just really seemed to labour to that win, didn't they? Over them last night, and they just seem to have lost something. That energy just seems gone from that team. But I think Sean Dyche might face the same problem that he did against Leicester, and I don't know what the extent of Ben Mee's injury was in that game, but it didn't look good when he came off for them, and you could see that Leicester really were able to take advantage of that, with all due respect to the lad that came on. And I think Chelsea might still be a bit lacklustre, but I just sense they're going to get a win here. I just feel like they're going to get the job done. It'll be a scrappy game. It might be a bit fortunate, but I just feel they'll just lazily get the win here.
I must admit, I mean, I was surprised by Burnley when we beat them because they'd won a couple before that, including Spurs, and it was at the Turf, as indeed this game is. And Dan, obviously the Burnley fan, Turf Moorhouse TV, always, said, or not always, but he said, they've got a habit of laying the red carpet out, but they hadn't been doing that recently. They kind of did against us. I know Chelsea, I said they did struggle against Luton. I was really cheering on Luton, to be honest with you. But I think, was that the first match after their World Club Championship win, Chelsea, or have they got another one?
I don't know.
Whether that affects them with the travelling or not, I don't know. Burnley won 2 in the last 5. Drawn 1 against Palace and obviously lost. I watched the Palace. I did a watch along with Dan, funnily enough, on that game, Burnley against Palace. And Burnley's problem it's very much like Leicester's. They played well in spurts in that game, but they didn't keep it up. And if they're going to do that against Chelsea, I'm going to have to agree with you, Brad, and I can see a Chelsea win here. Don't know that it'll be a big win. Might only be 1-0 or 2-1, something like that. But I can see Chelsea nicking it. Because I think Burnley will just have that downtime. This is going to probably be, for me, I'm going to come to Brad first on this one, but this, for me, is probably going to be the match of the weekend. I'm really looking forward to this one because Newcastle are finding the form. Yes, you could say they're buying their way out of it, but then, any club that's got money is going to do that. Against the Brighton side, who have a good manager, yet to win anything, obviously, and yet to get them into Europe. Perfect time. Dan's just come in. Perfect time to come in. I bloody love Steve. Yeah, but what you don't know is look where he is in the table. That's the thing.
He's doing it the Burnley style, mate.
Yeah, he's doing it Burnley. Welcome along, Dan. How are you? You had me worried then. Thought he's not in. He must have been knocked over. But no. And how do you see this one going? Because, like I say, you got 2 young British managers. Newcastle, they have started winning. Brighton, still doing well for their standards. Which way do you see it, Brad?
Well, for those of you that do follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I had to make a formal apology because since I've been dating Chloe, I predicted they'd get something against Manchester United. They lost. I predicted they'd get a win against Burnley. They lost. I predicted they'd beat Aston Villa. They lost. So for the sake of my relationship, my woman, and any other Brighton fan out there, I'm going to do a Steve Lynex and say that Newcastle are going to win this in the hopes that Brighton win it so I can get out the doghouse. So, yeah, I'm going for a Newcastle win for my own safety and nothing else.
when we allow Steve to go against Spurs and Arsenal just because he hates the clubs, I can't argue with that, Brad. I haven't seen the apology. Is it on Twitter? I need to go.
Yes, it is. It's a formal apology. I even tagged Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club and apologised directly.
Now then, Steve, you're not going to get girlfriends who are Tottenham or Arsenal fans, I don't think. But for different reasons, possibly. Which way do you see this one going?
Well, from now till the end of the season, I'm going to back Newcastle on most of the games. At the moment, they haven't brought themselves out of trouble. They're just playing their way out of trouble. It's virtually the same team that's been playing before, but you're seeing now a 50% to 60% lift in all the players that are playing.
Yes. I mean, you've got to say, whoever came in post Steve Bruce was probably going to be able to turn the team, around. He wasn't the right fit for them, but he was the chosen one. But you've got a young manager that's come in there, and I know you like him, Steve. I like him as well. He's what he's done at Bournemouth is amazing. I just hope we're not seeing like the Ollie effect of where you come in, everything settles down, and you don't just have a bounce, but you have a really long bounce. Because as we know with Ollie, it didn't last. I'm going to upset.
If he's got the choice of getting the players in, and nobody above him gets the wrong players, I think he'll get his own players in, and he'll do what he did at Bournemouth, and he'll have a really good few seasons. So if you just
I questioned when they got him in whether he was the long-term choice, as in bring him in for a season or two, keep them up, get them established, and then they'll go for the big name to go with the money. That said, the reason why it can't be him. He's never had that sort of money to play with and those sort of players to bring in. He's gone from shopping at Audi when he was at Bournemouth now to shopping at Harrods. So we will see. But I'm going to please apologise to Chloe for me, Brad. Nothing personal in it at all. She's a very nice girl, but I'm going to have to go for Newcastle because it's at Newcastle. I hope she's not watching this because it's three of us have all gone against Brighton. I do hope Brighton do well. My thoughts on Graham Potter, but as a club, I love to see these clubs doing well, and the others like the Tottenhams or what have you struggling. So I apologise, Chloe. I'm sure Brad will chastise me afterwards, but I have gone for Newcastle win, as indeed has Scott. If you want, Chloe, after watching this, I have got the numbers for Samaritans if you wish to use that. Dan, that was a terrible joke. You're clearly spending too much time with Chris. It's rubbing off on you too much. Jeff's come in with Everton 1-0 up in the FA Cup. Oh no, sorry, I thought that was a prediction then. Sorry. Come on, Boreham Wood. I've got to say, and I tell you, we'll do it. We'll wait until we come on to the Everton game, which is at the end, because I just want to say a word about Frank Lampard. Don't let me forget. Right, Norwich against Brentford. Steve, a real 6-pointer. Brentford started off well, and everybody knows that I thought that they would stay up, but they're being dragged right down in it now. 1 point in the last 5. Norwich had that little bit of a blip, a bit like Burnley did. They had a couple of good wins, but they've lost the last 3, including Man City, which was, let's face it, probably a given. And then they had Liverpool, which was a given. And then the Southampton, who are playing well. Is this going to be a tight game, do you think?
I think this is your typical championship game. They know each other well through the championship.
Yeah.
So it could go either way. Either way, on the form that both teams are playing, it could be, either or either. So I'm going to go for a draw on this one.
You're going to go for a draw. I'm just going to have a quick look. What happened last time out earlier in the season? It was a Norwich win. Norwich won it 2-1 earlier in the season. That was on the 6th of November. Was that the game when Farker got sacked, Brad? Can you remember?
I can't remember, mate. I cannot remember. It might well
one
have been.
job, Brad. One job. Come on.
Oh yeah, sorry,
sorry,
host and researcher.
So Steve, so you've gone for Norwich, didn't you?
No, draw.
You went for a draw. Sorry, Steve. You went for a draw. Brad?
See, the thing is for me, is Norwich looked like they were on good form. And I know they played some difficult opposition afterwards, but they've not managed to rediscover that form, to my knowledge. The form's not brilliant right now, is it? So,
no.
Granted, Norwich Brentford, they've been very shaky, to say the least. You know, like you said, 1 point in 5. But in the last game, they didn't do themselves any favours, obviously going down to 10 men. But then they had the Christian Eriksen debut, which obviously lifted everybody. Everybody around the ground was on the feet applauding that. It was a very sentimental occasion. He's probably, he will no doubt get that every game now until the end of the season, wherever he goes, to be fair. And Ivan Toney got some minutes on the pitch, I believe, as well. So they've missed him up front. They've not been as clinical up front. And I just got a feeling that while Norwich are nosediving a little bit, that Brentford might just nick a much needed win here. So I'm actually going to go for Brentford to sneak this one and get a victory. I think there's something that maybe gives them the win. It's maybe not the manager's case. It's maybe if he uses the right personnel.
Yeah.
And like Ivan Toney back and Eriksen.
This is the hardest one, I think, for me to predict. They both need the points. Norwich, so that they don't sort of obviously get cut loose at the bottom. Nearly burst into song then, but that was footloose, wasn't it? And sorry guys, Brentford need it to try and keep out of that relegation battle. I'm going to have to agree with one of you because I can't see Norwich getting all 3 points. I'm going to be honest with you, but I am going to go for a draw. I'm going to go with Steve on this one. I think it is going to be a draw, which, in fairness, probably won't be really good enough for either of them, you know. But moving on to the next game, Wolves against Palace. Now, if I say that this is a pretty even game, let me just read these stats out to you. I know stats are just stats, but they've played each other 7 times in the Premier League. Wolves have won 3, Palace have won 3, and there's been 1 draw. Wolves have won 2 at home, Palace have won 2 at home. Wolves have won 1 away, Palace have won 1 away. I mean, you know, you split these, Steve. Last time Palace beat Wolves 2-0, but we saw Wolves the other week. They're purring at the moment, aren't they? No pun intended.
Yeah. Palace are the draw specialists, I feel, at the moment. Wolves, I think if they were playing at Palace, I'd have fancied them more because I think their away form's a lot better than their home form. So, based on that, I'm going to go for a draw on this one.
You're going for a draw. Before I get Brad in, I'm just going to say I agree with you totally on that because basically of what I've just read out. Brad?
I actually think Wolves are going to walk away with this, actually. I think the same thing's happened to Palace that's happening. They've had that new manager bounce, or as everybody likes to cheaply call it, or whatever. It's slowed out of the game with Vieira. The results are a little bit more inconsistent. And I think Wolves are good for the win here. I think they'll get quite a comfortable win in the end, actually, to be fair.
Right, so we are going for a Wolves win for Brad. Liverpool West Ham. Now, Liverpool are making a good fist of it, and they're actually at least making it exciting. Or you could say that Man City are making it exciting by losing. Liverpool, 5 wins out of 5. You can't fault their form. They've got a game in 6 points behind, but have got a game in hand against City. They beat Palace. They beat, obviously, us. They beat Burnley, but made hard work of it. They beat Norwich. And, of course, they still put 6 past leads last time out. West Ham, played midweek, lost to Southampton in the Cup. So whether that gives them a G up or not, who knows? But West Ham lost to Man United, beat Watford, drew with Leicester, drew with Newcastle, and they beat Wolves 1-0. Brad, I'll come to you first. Who's going to come away with the points here?
This is, for me, probably the hardest one to predict because this really does depend on West Ham. Liverpool are in fine form at the moment. They're really sensing, they can smell the blood, as I'd say, with Manchester City. They took a dent in their armour, didn't they, a few weeks ago? Dropped some points, and then all of a sudden, maybe even they afforded themselves to believe that they could still catch Man City and chase down a second Premier League title. But West Ham have a habit, and I said they're very similar to us of the previous few seasons. Well, they're at this stage now when they're playing the harder teams, they're up for it, really up for it. They really go at them, and they nick a point here, and they get a shock win there. I mean, they did really well to come out with the win against Wolves. That was an impressive win, considering the form Wolves have been in throughout most of the season. But then they get a draw against Newcastle. This is before, they're on good form. They struggle to draw against us. They have to throw the ball in the net to get a point from us.
I won't argue.
Watford, Watford either pull off a miracle or get smashed. So, that was probably less of a surprise. But other results they've been having recently, when they've not needed to step up to the plate or they're expecting to win, they seem to fall short. Now they go to Anfield. I think Liverpool just get the job done, but I don't think it'll be as comprehensive as people might think. I might think this might be a high score one. I was going to go draw, but I'm going to have Liverpool, and I'm going to go for a wild 3-2 just to get that out there as a score prediction. But I think Liverpool get the job done.
Right. Steve, is it a difficult one for you?
No, I think Liverpool's going to win this by 3 goals. I think West Ham are having a great season, but I think Liverpool are on top form. They're just cruising. I think they could step up another gear. They've got everything going for them. They've got the momentum. They've got everything going for them this season. And I think they will be typical Liverpool. And I think they'll win 3-0.
And as you can see, I totally agree with you, if only to wind Jake and his dad up. And I do actually think it is Liverpool. I think West Ham are having a bit of what I would call a Leicester season early. We always got accused of bottling it. I think they have as well. Scott, this early doors, of course. Scott's gone 2-1 for Palace, but 4-2 for Liverpool. And that game, of course, Liverpool West Ham is the late Saturday night kickoff, which means it is on Sky. We're going to be looking at Sunday straight after this. Yep, guys, if you are watching on YouTube and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. It does help us so very much, and we would really appreciate it. Watford are hosting Arsenal, and no matter how you look at the form for this one, I've just got to play it.
To be fair, your next 2 fixtures, I'm purely going to go for the 2 teams because I cannot stand Arsenal. And I cannot stand
He can't. And I haven't played it for a while. I thought, yeah, it's about time we got what I would like to call Steve's finger out there. He doesn't like Arsenal. Is it worth me even asking you if Arsenal get anything at Watford?
All I'm going to say on this game is Watford.
Yeah, no, man, a few words when it comes to these games. Brad.
I mean, you'd think Arsenal should get the win here, but Watford seem to be able to be just a bit more resilient under Roy Hodgson. I think it's probably the only mantra he knows what to do in a crisis like this, which is trying to get a team that's gone from playing, all-out attack and getting battered 4-1s and 4-0s and whatnot every week because he ain't caught out to being very defensive and trying to shut out a game and maybe nick it. They did that against Manchester United. They did that, obviously, doing it a lot better under Roy Hodgson. And this is Arsenal, isn't it? They're still the same Arsenal. They've been a little bit better this season in terms of their results being a bit more positive than negative, but this is still Arsenal. And I'm going to say that Watford get a priceless point here. I'm going to say they draw the game.
Right. Wow. All right, let me get that right. So I put you in there, and you're not you. That was Steve, and that was Brad. By the end of the season, I will get to know what everybody's initials are. I promise you. Anthony says 2-0 Arsenal. We're going to show Man United how to beat Watford. Whoa, ouch! But very true. I mean, you know what I think about Watford. I just want them to go down and disappear up their own backside, have a couple of seasons down there, and then think about coming up when you want to do it properly. You know, as a team that sacked their manager when they were in 12th position, how's that working out for you, by the way? You then go and employ a manager who couldn't keep Fulham up the year before. Yes, he did win us the Premier League, but, you know, you talk about keeping a team from relegation. He nearly took us that way the season after. But, of course, your directors and owners know best. So you replaced him with a 72-year-old who, let's be honest with you, hasn't had the best success. But he did manage to keep Palace up for a few seasons. That said, he has bolstered Watford's defence, but purely because I just want Watford to go down and I just want them to stay down. And if I was a vet, I would actually put them down. They just annoy me so much. And I mean, Arsenal, in fairness to Arsenal, you know, they're up there in 6th. They've won the last 3, beating Wolves, Brentford, and Wolves again. They drew with Burnley and they lost only 2-1 to Manchester City. I think Arsenal are actually, at the moment, are my favourites for that 4th position. I think Man United will lose it. I think West Ham are slowly starting to bottle it. I don't think Tottenham are, well, they can't decide what they want to do, can they? How's the cup going for you this year, Tottenham? Oh, there's not a one in the year, is there? How many years is that without a cup now for Tottenham? Does anybody know? It's a long, long time. But yeah, I'm going to go for an Arsenal. I'm going to go for Arsenal here. Just for you, Anthony, because you're in. I've gone for Arsenal. And then, I'll tell you what, those executives at Sky, they are having orgasm upon orgasm upon orgasm because they've got a Manchester derby to talk about this weekend. You know, why they are showing any other games, I don't know, because they will be licking the arses of Man United and Manchester City. They've probably started talking about it now, and they've probably got somebody dug up out of the grave that used to play for Manchester City in the 1800s that they're interviewing. Not saying that Sky favour the Big Six, but you know my feelings. Steve, which part of Manchester is going to be the happier?
I'm going to go for the red side. I think Man City can't handle defeat. I think they struggle when they do get beaten. I think the turmoil that's going on at Manchester United is going to get them through this game. They're going to be up for it. I don't class local derbies as local derbies anymore because you can't get the passion in the games. You only get the passion from the fans. You don't get it on the pitch. You're not allowed to do it on the pitch anymore. I think if you're allowed to rough each other up a bit and do stuff, then fair enough, you'd get better games. But with this no-touch mentality, I think all your local derbies are going out the window. So on the playing side of it, I think Manchester United are going to win this one.
And I think as well, Steve, I think with the local derbies, and I said this when Leicester played Forest, I think, and no disrespect to them, but with all the non-English or non-British players in a team, that they don't know what it means. You know, to somebody that's come over from Italy or Belgium, what do they know about a Leicester-Nottingham Forest derby? They don't. But, you know, Manchester United are in turmoil. Brad, are you going to be a red or a blue?
Do I have to? Oh, Oh, this is just one of them I don't really like predicting, to be honest with you. Oh, this is an annoying game to try and predict because I don't know what I want to happen. I'm not really bothered. Do I just go for a draw because I don't really care about either of them? Do I go for a Manchester United? But then that leaves the door open for Liverpool. Which scenario is the least detestable to surrender? And I think it's going to be Man City winning this game and just keeping themselves on top for now. I don't want to say either of them, but I don't think it's going to end in a draw. So I will go for Man City. But
yeah,
next game.
Dorco says he hates City more than United. Really? Now, here's something you're not going to see very often. A Liverpool fan, and good evening, Jordan, how the devil are you, has gone for a Man United win. Really? And I can say Jeff's gone for an easy win for City, and Anthony, the Arsenal fan's gone Man City 2-1. Do you know what? I have respect for Man United for what they achieved under Fergie. What gets me is that it's the fans of Manchester United are a lot more, what's the word? I can't think of the right word, but they sort of have this sort of, we are Man United, we should be winning things mentality. And no, you shouldn't. As I can't, I say this all the time. Pre-Fergie, Man United were just an Arsenal or a Spurs at the moment. That's all you were. Fergie came in, and after a couple of seasons, he made you a brilliant club. He was a brilliant manager. You deserved everything you got. But he's gone. And you can't just say, well, because we won it under Fergie, that we're going to win it, everything like that. There's no humility about Manchester United fans. That's what they are lacking. Where Man City, their fans, they've been down there. They were in League One like we were. They know what it's like. And they do have the humility. So just for the fact that I hate Manchester United so much now, I'm going to go for a Manchester City win. And it's as simple as that. I just think Man United fans need to have a dose of reality and see where it's coming from. We're going to come now. A quick question here: would Steve ever pick an Arsenal win? I think the answer to that is no, isn't it?
It's a personal thing with me with Arsenal and Tottenham. It's no disrespect to the Arsenal fans or the Tottenham fans, but it's a thing that's in me that through personal reasons that I don't like Arsenal and I don't like Tottenham.
And we respect that.
Every game I watch, it just fills me because I watched the middle of the Tottenham game and I thought how disrespectful Tottenham were every time they went 6 or 7 players chasing the referee for every decision and it just winds me up so much. And you go into the same things that Arsenal and Tottenham, they're in the mindset there, like you just said about Man United, we should be winning everything. No, you shouldn't be winning everything. And that's what it is with me. And I can't see past that. And I don't know if people understand the way I feel, but that's
I totally understand you because I think I'm saying exactly the same thing about Arsenal, to be about Man United, to be honest with you. I've yet to, really meet many Man United fans who have that humility about them. That said, we're going to have to play this again for the.
To be fair, your next 2 fixtures, I'm purely going to go for the 2 teams because I cannot stand Arsenal. And I cannot stand Tottenham. So
I've already got you in there, Steve, for an Everton win, totally against the form book. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to see Tottenham lose to Middlesbrough the other night, wasn't it, Brad?
Yeah, it's always fun, isn't it? Especially when the highlight of their season is coming at me for some of their fans coming at me and giving me stick about losing to Forest. And yeah, ours was a lot worse, but you still didn't win the competition, so that's what matters. Your FA Cup, you're out. Carabao Cup, you're out. Europe, you sacked yourself out.
Yes.
Premier League, way out. So it's good to know that Spurs are continuing in a massive trend, most consistent side in the division. And the problem is they're playing an Everton side that are in free fall, that are beating Bournemouth 1-0, and their fans are probably celebrating it. I mean, I remember, didn't Richarlison do some like really over-exaggerated celebration when they knocked out like someone like Lincoln City in extra time or something? So they're probably all having a party about that win, taking photos in the changing room like Arsenal did that one season when they did it on a certain Valentine's Day. And I just don't like Everton's mentor. I don't like the way the players seem to conduct themselves no matter who's in charge of them. I think they've been a bit poor this season. I know they've had injuries, but I still feel they've let managers down. I think it was easy for them to not try too hard for Rafa because he was already a wanted man from them to fans in terms of they weren't happy with his connection to the club. I don't think they particularly care too much for Lampard either, and I don't think that's helping. So as much as I'd love to say that Spurs are going to lose this game, I think they're going to win it because Everton are, like Leeds right now, they're scarily in bad form and could really maybe see a couple of teams stay up, or at least a team that stay up that shouldn't stay up because of Leeds' free fall. They've been able to catch up, sort of thing. I really fear for Everton, and I think Tottenham are going to get a winner.
I must admit,
it's reverse psychology. I don't mean any of it.
I see where you're coming from as well with that, Brad. I just want to say though, and I don't know if anybody was watching. I didn't realise Everton Bournemouth was on ITV tonight, but it is. And in fairness, and I thought this was actually a really, really nice gesture. The Frank Lampard, as Everton manager, had sent the manager of Boreham Wood a text saying, well, basically along the lines of, well done at getting where you are. We look forward to seeing you. We will give you a really warm welcome and we'll have a drink after the match. And I just thought, and he was totally touched by it. You know, it made his day, you know, that a Premier League manager had gone out of his way to do that. So I've got to say, Frank, well done, mate.
This is where you tell me that Bournemouth would have scored a late equaliser and they go on to win it, and he doesn't invite him in.
Yeah, I just think, for me, it says a lot about the man that he actually took the time to do that. And I know it's only 2 minutes, but it was the time to do it. Oh. That said, with this one, Spurs are so erratic at the moment. Scott's gone for a draw, and I think I might have to agree with you, Scott, to be honest with you. Everton are away, so I don't think they would have enough to beat Spurs, but you just don't know if Spurs, and it's all gone off the rails, you know. Conte was the new, you know, coming. They had 3 wins or 6 wins, was it, without losing when he first came in. So I am going to go for a draw there with that one. And that is it. But I just, if I can, I will come back to that in a second. I just want to share something with with you guys, which is, if I can just get it up here, and I think it's well worth a look. And that is how long since Tottenham last won a trophy. And can I just say, when I actually typed that into Google and I put how long since, one of the options that Google gave me was Tottenham won a trophy. I think you would have to complete it. And it is 14 years, 3 months. I thought it was longer than that, in fairness, but I think they won a League Cup in something like 2008 or something, didn't they? If my memory serves me right. Yeah. But yeah, 14 years, 3 days, 4 hours, 27 minutes, 12 seconds, 13 seconds, 14 seconds. I might even just keep that as my screensaver. Classic. I love that. If only TM was in. If only TM was in tonight, she would absolutely hate me. Right. So let me just bring the other one back up, and then we can just quickly run through them. So here we go, and there we go. So We've all gone for Leicester to beat Leeds. I'm not going to lie to you, Steve. That's a bit worrying for you when you predict Leicester to win. So if we do the watch along and we lose, I'm not going to say it's my watch along. I'm saying it's you predicting that we're going to win it. Brad thinks that Villa will get a point to Southampton. We've both me and Steve have gone for the away win. Steve thinks Burnley will do something. Well done, Steve. Chelsea, as what the rest of us have gone for. The other two of us have gone for. But we all think Newcastle are going to beat Brighton. And Brad, I'm sorry. I think you're going to be in trouble again. So much trouble. You want to just say Brighton on the show and then message me afterwards and I'll change it. Okay?
Deal.
She won't know. So just say whenever Brighton comes, say Brighton are going to win, message me afterwards and I'll put it back. Two of us think that it's going to be a draw in the basement battle between Norwich and Brentford. Steve and me think it's a draw, Wolves Palace. Brad's going for the Wolves win. Liverpool, everybody's gone for Liverpool against West Ham. We literally a clean sweep of Watford Arsenal. We know Steve would go for Watford. Brad's gone for the draw and I've gone for Arsenal. Just remember that, Anthony. Just remember I've gone for Arsenal there. Man City for two of us, Man United for Steve. And again, with Spurs Everton, it's across the board, one each. I'm going to ask you this now, guys, though, because we are getting now down to the last quarter of the season nearly. I'll say good evening to the Football United. How the devil are you, sir? Never sure which one it is with Football United, so let me know your name. I'll give you a shout out. And Dorca says, never saw Steve Lynex enough live. That was my courting years. Well, I tell you what, I can't say anything, Dorco, because I don't know who you were courting at the time. But if you're not married, or maybe you should have been watching Steve instead. Thanks, and Andy says, thanks, Chris. I know you would pick Arsenal. I mean, Dorco. In fairness, how many hours are there in a week? Let's just work this out quickly because there's 24 hours. It's 24 by 7, isn't it? Because I can't do that in my head. 168 hours a week, and you couldn't spare Steve Lynex 90 minutes of that. I'm shocked at you, Dorco. I'm shocked. You can't call yourself a Leicester fan when you're putting girlfriends above Leicester City. Sorry, mate. Sorry, I've just. What can I say? Matt, good evening, Matt. Sorry, it is Matt all the time. Thanks very much for that, Matt. How are you? Not seen you for a while. Hope you're safe. I want to get some early predictions here, and I know it will probably change each week. First of all, from both of you, title: City or Liverpool?
This week could really be the mix. This could be the decider. If one of these slip, I think the other one just has too much initiative going into their game when they meet later on. I just still can't look past Man City. I think they're a stronghold, so I'm still giving the edge right now to Man City.
Yeah.
But after this weekend, we'll see.
Steve, would you agree with that?
Hard one to call, but
that's why I asked it.
I like Liverpool at the moment, and I think the momentum's with Liverpool. I think they're involved in quite a few competitions, which is going to keep them nice and sharp.
Yeah, it is going to have an effect. Obviously, the Champions League, whoever gets knocked out first will have less games. You see, I like Man City. Okay, because I know their fans have been where we've been. But then again, I like Liverpool. I like the old way Liverpool used to play and the standards they had. I never forget when I don't know who you're playing then, Steve. When we beat them twice in a season and still got relegated.
Even in my year when we were playing, we were the bogey team for them for Liverpool.
I love the fact that the Liverpool manager, I think it was Shankly at the time, came out and said they were the better side. They deserved it, that was the old Liverpool. But if they do win it, it gives them 2 titles, and they've still only got 1, the same as us at the moment. So I'm going to have to go for Man City for me. And Steve, you first. 3 that are going to go down.
3 that are going to go down. Oh, Norwich. I'd like to see Burnley stay up. It's hard to say, to be honest. Let me see where the points are towards the bottom. I'm going to say Norwich, Watford, and Everton.
Yes, that's a good shout. Brad?
I'm just thinking mine now. I'm going to say Watford, Leeds, Burnley, in that order, from bottom to top.
Wow.
The bottom 3.
So you think Norwich are going to stay up?
Yeah, I think Watford Norwich have shown me enough to say that they've got more about them to put a run together. I think maybe Burnley are starting to realise, unfortunately, they've left the mountain too long to kind of climb, despite better results. They look a bit lethargic. It looks like they've exerted a lot of energy to make sure they play catch up to get to the point where they are. I could still be proven wrong, but I just don't know. Maybe Frank Lampard's just about to go and get away with everything, but I think it's going to be one of them where we go. I've said it before, and I've said it for a while. I'm going to stick to it. He's going to go down to the last day of the season where there's still going to be at least 4, if not 5 teams in that final spot, probably, or maybe final 2 spots. But right now, looking at how they're playing, I think Burnley have too much. Watford are just way too inconsistent. I think Roy Hodgson's way too late in appointment and change. They should have done it instead of Ranieri if they wanted his effect. For me, I think Leeds are in free-for-all. And I don't think this manager changed anything because the players they need to stay up are out still for a long period of time. So,
well,
yeah.
now to see, I'm surprised, but it's nice for somebody to sort of go for something different. But like Steve, I do think that we're looking at Norwich and Watford down, and I really do want them to go down because I think they disrespect other clubs because they say they come up. Somebody said on the show earlier that they come up, they take the money, they go down, they get the parachute payment, they come back up, they get the money, they come back down, get the parachute payment. Maybe that's the way they want to run the club, but you're disrespecting 18 other teams in the Premier League, and you're also disrespecting 22 other teams in the Championship by doing that. So I hope that both of them bugger off and keep out of the Premier League for a few seasons. And I don't want to see them again. I want to see other teams get the chance. And if they fail, they fail. But, you know, Sheffield United have proved you can stay up for a season. Leeds United have. Watford and Norwich, you're just pain in the arse. I have a sad feeling for Leeds United, to be honest with you. I think it might be Leeds this season. I don't think they've got the right manager in. I think it was a mistake because he's now going to come in with, okay, he's got the same players, so he might get a little bit of a bounce, hopefully not with them playing us. But I also think he's going to take those players and he's probably going to play differently to Bielsa. Well, he's got 10 games to get them used to playing that way, which they haven't been doing. So I think it's a stupid move. So I'm going to go Norwich, Watford, and Leeds, with Everton just about scraping it, probably on the last day. If Norwich stay up, says Scott, then it'll be Watford, Leeds, and Everton. He says his top 4 are Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, West Ham. Can't stand any of the others. It's as good a reason as any, Scott. You've just heard what I've just been saying. And Jeff says Man City title, Norwich, Watford, and Brentford relegated. Been a while since all 3 that came up have gone down. But it could happen. And just for anybody who's still interested, we're currently now at 14 years, 3 days, 4 hours, 37 minutes and 25 seconds, just to keep everybody updated on how long since Tottenham Hotspur. That could be a new game. That could be on my quiz, couldn't it? How long since Tottenham Hotspur have won a trophy? I'm going to think about that. Right, Steve, mate, thank you very much for coming on again. Messing you about with the days, I know, but blame Leicester and their matches. Back to Tuesday next week, if that's okay.
Yeah, great, fantastic.
Brilliant, because we've got a small matter of playing a little French team on the Thursday. Steve, all the best to you and your family. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for doing this every week for us.
You're welcome. I enjoy it.
Brilliant. Great to have you on. Take care, Steve. All the best.
See you later, Steve.
Thank you very much. See you later.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And to you as well, Brad. As always, you come on and you help me out and you cover. And brilliant. Just tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, so pretty much just follow me on Twitter. That's at Full-Time Focus. You'll see me rambling like an idiot on there and sharing content from shows that I'm on. Obviously, mainly find me here if you're a Leicester fan. So make sure you subscribe here first, most of all. But yeah, Full-Time Focus is my Twitter handle. That's where you'll find me.
Yeah, Anthony says I should keep that on all my streams. Might just do that. Hasn't been as long for Arsenal, has it? And of course, if you are looking for Brad, other than being on here, just find him on a Brighton and Hove Albion stream somewhere eating humble pie. you'll find him. Brad, all the best, mate. Thank you so much.
Cheers, mate.
Hopefully, see you 7 o'clock. No, 7 o'clock. I've jumped a week. 3:30, 3:45 ish on Saturday after the match.
Hopefully, talking about a win.
Hopefully, so. Well, we could get a bit used to this, couldn't we? Really? And Scott, I've got to just put this up, and this was nothing to do with me, Brad. Honestly, but if you want to know where you can find Brad,
well, I mean, guilty as charged, Your Honour. Guilty as charged.
All the best to both of you, both you and Chloe. Have a good next couple of days, and I will see you on Saturday night, mate. Take care.
Thank you very much, mate. I'll see you then.
Cheers. Bye-bye. And again, if you are still wondering, yep, there we go. It's now 40 minutes and 7 seconds. 14 years, 3 days, 4 hours, 40 minutes and 13 seconds since Spurs last won a trophy. Are we ever going to get bored with that? Let us see. Maybe not. What I do want to show you is, though, that I don't know if anybody watches the BBC and you watch Michael McIntyre's Big Show. Does anybody know? Coming in from a Man United fan there. Cheers, Matt. Does anybody know the centre-wall game? Whoops. Sorry, that wasn't actually on purpose. I did mean not to do that. Yeah, does anybody watch Centre Wall? Well, on our opposition show the other day, I was talking to Dan, Burnley fan, and West Ham were playing that night. So I thought I would do my own version of Centre Wall, but it was kind of called Centre One and didn't work out, but I enjoyed it. And I think it's worth a quick look. You can find this on the channel, but this is worth a quick look. Here we go. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look at the scores on the doors, Miss Ford. Oh, it's finished. It's over. And yes, West Ham are out. Jake, if you're watching this, Jake. Southampton beat them 3-1. They're having not a bad season. I can't. You can see this, can you?
No, can't see it.
You can't see it. No, but I'll tell you why, because I've not added it in. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, we're discussing the FA Cup in our post-match review. Just noticed. I feel like Michael McIntyre here doing centre wall. Just noticed your score. Oh dear.
Oh, we've had a text back. Who's Chubby? Who's Mr. Cox? Who's Chubby?
Has he replied?
No, I'm just saying that would be on the centre wall. We've had a message from somebody called Chubby. Who's Chubby?
Who's Chubbs? Who's Chubbs? Oh dear, Jakey boy. West Ham's season starting to fall apart, is it?
To be fair, Chris, they were lucky to get through, weren't they? I mean,
they were, yes. Do you think we could have a PMSL on the end? Why not?
Why not? Why not?
There we go. And it's sent. Let's see, because he's probably in the car coming back now. Jake, I love that. I absolutely love doing that live on air. If we're doing this properly, we've got to go back and see if we've had any replies.
Usually the replies are from Ofcom.
And funnily enough, Jake is very quiet. Yes.
He must.
Oh, yeah, it didn't quite come off because I think he was probably asleep in the car coming home. But yeah, I should say in my defence that prior to that, I was on the chats of one of his shows, and his was an FA Cup preview, and he did actually rub it in about us getting knocked out to Nottingham Forest. So that was kind of coming. It was kind of coming. Yeah, Scott said, I've seen this earlier. Says, take all, everybody, and stay safe. We're going to be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock with me and Craig and the Leeds preview show. And then 9 o'clock, and we're going to be over on Turf's channel, Turf Morehouse TV. Surprise, surprise. I'm going to be there and doing this all over again, doing the predictions. So, and then it's the watch along on Saturday.
This is the Leicester Till I Die watch along show. Join in the chat and don't forget to subscribe.
It is. We'll be doing that at 12 o'clock, and I'll be joined by Connor, a Leeds fan. It might be a Leicester fan, I don't know, but he's definitely a Leeds fan. He'll be joining us for the watch along. Last couple of comments here. Chris, Newcastle undefeated in February. They're doing well. Well, I think we all went for the Newcastle win, so yeah. And Dorcas, it's an early start, and that's what worries me because we've not done well in the early starts this season. In fact, in most seasons, I can remember under Martin O'Neill, I think we very rarely won on an early start. Anyway, it's the joy of being in the Premier League, the joy of being on television, and the joy of being on YouTube. Thank you to everybody that has watched this. I really do appreciate it. My big thanks to Steve Lynex, of course, for giving his time. For those of us of a certain age, great Leicester City player. And, of course, thanks to Brad, as always. And then in the comments, of course, Anthony, you bring it up, Tottenham, low. No, I can't do it again, but I am thinking of ideas around this. So thanks to Anthony, Dorco, Scott for modding in there. Thanks so much. Jeff, all the way from the Philippines. Thanks so much, Jeff. Matt from Football United, thanks for popping in. It's been a pleasure having you in. As the actress said to the Archbishop. And if you've been watching this, as I say, on YouTube, please give us a like and please subscribe to the channel. It really is a great help. And if you're watching it or listening to this on catch up on podcast form, whether that's Amazon, Apple iTunes, Google, Spotify, or Podcast Addict, thank you so much for listening. And if you've got smart speakers, just say to your smart speaker, play the podcast Leicester Till I Die. and you will be able to listen to me in full flow. I will see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Thanks to everybody. Remember what I always say, take care, enjoy yourself, but don't do anything I wouldn't enjoy. Leaves it open. Good night. See you tomorrow.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.